Hey, what's up, everybody? And welcome to another show of the Connector Talk, where I bring on connectors, people who use their life as a network to create opportunity. And today I got Rob Fajardo. Rob, let me just
Hey guys.
introduce him. Rob's a millennial influencer. He's the founder of a company called Leave Normal Behind. He was the marketing behind the Fidget 360 movement. So you guys see those fidgets. You know, he was on board with those things before they reached your supermarket. Last month, he was featured in Forbes, Huffington Post, Inc., Hustle Time, Entrepreneur.com. I'm probably missing a few. And I just wanted to really bring him on. We've been talking on the internet for over a year now. So dude, how are you doing?
Dude, I'm doing good, bro. Every day's a great day to be great. Having some good calls, man. It's awesome. You know, for people that are tuning in now, I just shared it over to my timeline too. So excited for more people to hop on. But it's just been it's been nice, dude, seeing all the growth that you've been having. You know, for people that are tuning in, you know, guys, Nick is the real deal. You know, like he's someone that really executes. He's got that X factor of staying consistent, being self-motivated. So, you know, my honor, dude. I appreciate you for, you know, letting me come on your live and getting some time with me. And, you know, I'm really excited, dude, to hop into it and, you know, share insights on being a connector, networking. But just wanted to acknowledge you, bro, for all the amazing work that you've been doing. You know, not so many people are as consistent and, you know, steady growth as yourself. So just wanted to give you
Well,
props.
yeah, not many people, but you're one of those people as well, man. I remember when I first met you, you were you had your Leave Normal Behind squad. You guys were like doing some worldwide stuff.
Yeah.
And then you came back to your hometown or somewhere near New Jersey, and you started working at Founders, which is that famous incubator started by Gerard Adams. And I'm pretty sure you were in the first wave of that, right? Dude, tell me a bit about you know, what Founders is and what you kind of accomplished there.
Cool. Yeah. So Founders is a startup accelerator in Newark, New Jersey. So just real quick, the discrepancy between, you know, an accelerator and an incubator is an incubator is someplace where you go, you know, for an unspecified amount of time. You know, think about when you have like a chicken and an egg, you put it into an incubator, right? When you were in elementary school and it incubates over a bunch of time and then it hatches. You know, an accelerator though is a specific amount of time, set start and end points where you're going to be accelerated through some type of knowledge consumption, networking, investment opportunities, or whatever it may be. So, you know, Founders is a startup accelerator. The entrepreneurs go through a 12-week curriculum that teaches them the soft and hard skills of an entrepreneur. So soft skills being, you know, emotional intelligence, leadership, manifesting your vision, starving your distractions, building a culture, and you know, some of the hard skills too, like content creation, SEO, Facebook ads, raising capital, finding a technical co-founder, whatever it may be. And then after the 12 weeks, the entrepreneurs would get an opportunity to pitch to some accredited investors. So our, you know, affiliation with Founders was, you know, we came on as the initial executive team. I had a little business development company called Sofro where we were doing like branding, websites, funnels, memberships, you know, creating content for people. You know, met up with Gerard. He's co-founder of Elite Daily. At that time, there was like a lot of interns at Founders, and they had a big Red Bull event coming on. You know, where there was like a first cohort where entrepreneurs could pitch. So we came on. We started handling the daily administrations and operations, and you know, built out that 12-week curriculum with Gerard. Did that for like 7-8 months, dude, until, you know, 2017, you know, where I really decided to go full time with LNB. But, you know, I've been doing Leave Normal Behind for, you know, 2.5 years now, 2 years. January, I think 2015 was the first time I posted on Instagram, hashtag Leave Normal Behind. Yeah.
That's
I
like
went
the
back
birth of a company now. Huh?
Yeah. January 26th, 2015 was
That's
the first,
incredible.
Instagram hashtag.
So I see you have like this, and especially with Gerard and everyone you're surrounding yourselves with, like a focus on young people.
Yeah.
What do you think some of young people's advantages and disadvantages are, you know, in a world where we're connected to pretty much anybody and anything we want? Like, what advantages and disadvantages do you think we have?
Well, I think, you know, to make it very eloquent, I think one of the major advantages that we have is that we are connected and we have access you know, we have access to information, access to opportunities, access to events.
People.
We have Google, you know, exactly, your access to people through social media. We just have so much more access. I think our disadvantage is that due to the age, you don't know how to capitalize on the access. You don't know how to articulate your point. You don't know how to use the tool of the network effectively. You don't know how to use, you know, the opportunities around you to leverage. Granted, you do, right? You do have people that, you know, are much more mature than their age. But I think overall, you know, as millennials, Gen Z, you know, you are going to be having those two different types of people that are going to take advantage and be resourceful of all the things that we have, you know, or the ones that are going to kind of squander it away. But again, that happens in every age demographic. There's 30, 40, 50, 60-year-olds that are still doing the same shit, watching viral videos, commenting bullshit, you know, and not using, you know, social media in the right way. Not like viral videos are bad, but it's also like how much and how are you using this tool to either enrich your life or just like give you something that you can consume, you know? So I think that's like, that's a major disadvantage. And advantage is the advantage is we have so much access, but maybe the maturity to actually learn how to, you know, deliver that in an articulate way to have like some effect. People get lost.
Well, I mean, to young people and the entire world, you know, at their defense, like the internet's like what, 25 years old or something.
Yeah, it's pretty baby.
So 22. So I mean, it's not like we just need to catch up. We need to innovate. Yo, guys, we got Rob Fajardo on. Please leave your questions for this guy. This dude's a millennial influencer. This dude's a beast. Any questions about, you know, how to start your own business, entrepreneurship, and how to bulldoze all these like distractions and, like you said, suffocate them. Dude, this guy's good. Andrew Matthews says genius is on the screen here. That's right. That's right. Yeah. So back to what you were saying, like. People are asking me all the time, how do I get started with social and what's the strategy there? And basically where I start them off is that, you know, you gotta express yourself authentically, man, before you build a strategy around it.
For sure.
Like what does your, like, just use it as another way to be more known and understood for who you are. Like, and then we could talk about how to run ads and how to like hack, you know, your growth and everything like that. But you know, unless it's coming from this authentic place, it seems to almost always fail. How have you been able to find that core spot, or how do you help other people find that core spot so that as they scale, they know they're not losing, you know, their authenticity as more people start following them?
So there's a quote, you know, I repeat it. If there's people that, you know, have ever seen my videos, they've definitely heard me say this, and I imagine myself saying this the rest of my life. But you know, there's something that Socrates says, and it's, you know, ask big questions, get big answers. So I think, you know, having and utilizing the Socratic method of question and answers with yourself is how you give yourself a compass that's going to give you the direction for your life and business. So a great starting question that I always use, I've asked this over 1,000 times, is, and it's, you know, from a guy named Alan Watts, you know, and it's, if a little innovated from what Alan said, but you know, if money were no object, what would you do every day to make yourself happy, satisfied, and fulfilled? You know, so I ask that to everyone, dude, and everyone has an answer to that, but they don't realize. Like, dude, I've heard coloring, I've heard fishing, I've heard, you know, scuba diving, I've heard playing basketball. A lot of people say travel, you know, but that's not necessarily true. People think they want to travel, but if you actually start traveling, like, what are you going to be doing when you're traveling, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Going to, like, Thailand, you know, sitting on the beach, or going to Bali and traveling. Yeah, that's fucking epic, but too much of that, you're going to go crazy. It's like, what are you doing when you travel? So I think when people say travel, it's just because they haven't traveled that much, and it's more of like a short-term thought. But it's like when you're in the process of traveling, like, there's 24 hours in the day, you still need to, like, occupy your mental space. It's not just like, oh, I'm traveling, you know?
Yeah,
you know,
exactly.
So that's the first question.
Yeah, I would connect it also to the fact that, you know, if you want longevity and you want something secure, you got to put your life and your faith and your work ethic into something a little bigger than you. Like, what can you work on? Because if you pick something too small, like, for instance, like coloring, then what happens after 2 weeks of coloring? You know, you're going to get fucking bored of it because you never put your goals in something bigger than yourself. And that I think could be a downfall. All right, we got some question here. Adam says, "Hey guys, love listening to you guys this far. Thank you. Question: when starting, would you say it's better to do things as a lone wolf or double down on your strengths and get shit done, or focusing on building a team around your weaknesses?" I'll let you go first. I'll answer this after.
Yeah. So for me, I've done both. So for Sofro and founders, I went the strategy of build a team, and there's benefits to that. Like you're able to, immediately charge a higher ticket price, but again, then too, you have to have more expenses. We were, there's a time last summer, in like 2-3 months, we did 40K in rev, but we spent 42K, so it's like when you have more people, you also add more responsibility. You also add more people to pay. You also add more people to operate with, especially if you want to build like a high level team, you run the risk of like getting too many chefs in the kitchen, too many leaders on one team, and everyone kind of wants to take the stage. And so I did the team out. There's definitely benefits. And now with L&B in 2017, we're really doing lean. Right now, it's just like myself, my bro. We have some people helping us out here and there, but we've been able to get a lot done with less. And also, I guess it depends on your time, right? One of my friends is a guy named Leonard Kim. If anyone's on the live, go check out Leonard. Great personal branding guy. But he had asked me, he's like, "Rob, how old are you?" And I'm like, 23. So he's like, "Yeah, dude. So what's the difference between doing this at 25 or doing this by 28?" And I thought to him, I was like, well, I guess nothing. Once if I die. That was like my thing. I was like, once if I die, the only real reason that you feel like a rush is because you want to get it faster. It's kind of a pride thing, So now, kind of in a more mature hindsight, with leaving all behind, I am kind of more of a proponent of be as lean as possible, do as much as you can first, bring it to the point where it has momentum, has traction. There's so much, like I said before, access. You can like get to a certain place by yourself or without a big team before you need to like kind of scale into a big team. And there's also something I like that Grant Cardone says is it's like, you can't put on other people until you put yourself on first.
Sure.
Right? So that was another one of my downfalls being a young founder is I tried to build a team of 8 to 10 people, caring for their responsibilities when, I'm still got to care for my responsibilities too, so that's also something you have to judge where you're at in your life, or, do you have the financial ability to hire a salary? Do you have the financial ability to scale? Are you going to give them benefits? And then what type of training program are you going to have with them? How are you training them up? Because once they come in your company, how do they become better in your company? So I guess it depends on what industry you're in. Right now, I'm really vibing with the, become the best version of yourself, see what you can do solo or small team of like 2 to 3.
Sure.
And then, bring it to like an MVP or something where maybe you get some investment dollars and then you just hire people on salary. But, equity wise for Adam, that lone wolf thing, it's really about like, the question is like, who are you going to bring on for equity? I don't think you need too many equity partners, personally.
I agree. Adam, just so I can riff, basically the same as Rob, but the way I explain it is when, necessity meets knowledge. So the first thing is making sure you're working so hard by yourself that you're creating the need for more people, and that when that need's created, you actually know what you're doing. Because it's more than just losing money. If you don't know what you're doing, man, I mean, humans are the most important resource here, right? So if you're going to be bringing that kind of resource onto your team, something as powerful as a human being, you gotta know how to create an ecosystem for growth. I think I'm breaking up here a bit. Am I here?
Yeah, I hear you.
But yeah, I mean, like in my situation, am I breaking up? In my situation, I've been making videos and doing video marketing for 7 years now as a business, and it just got to a point where I needed to hire a team. So I would work as hard as you can until you need a team.
Mm-hmm.
What's going on here? But yeah, I mean, like I got my team right here working right now on some editing. So like definitely a team's not a bad idea, but you got to need them.
Mm-hmm. I definitely agree with that too. And I like kind of what you said, dude, necessity meets knowledge. And, I was just coming from a meeting prior to this live, and that was exactly the case, and it was a question of like, how fast do I they were going to spend a couple $1,000s on development of an app. And I'm like, yo, you can do all the things that this app's going to do manually by yourself so that you get the understanding of how the app even needs to work. So I thought, when you said necessity meets knowledge, I thought that was really great, because you're not going to get to that point unless you're putting in the work in the trenches. Right? You're not going to know like how Final Cut works if you don't try to make your own video yourself. You're not going to know how funnels works if you don't try to make a ClickFunnels yourself. And if you try to give somebody on your team to do that for you, then you don't even know how to articulate what you really want, because you don't understand what they're doing.
Exactly. Yeah. Know the job before you pass it down.
Yeah.
All right, Rob. I just got like maybe one or two more questions. One is like, how have you used video to help you? Have you used it at all? I've seen some videos of you, so it's kind of rhetorical. But how have you used it? Do you think that's important in any way for people that are trying to become connectors themselves? Talk to me.
I think video is super important. For me, it's because of a little fact that I learned from a TEDx talk. And it's that your words are only 7% effective. Your body language is 33%. Your tone is 33% effective, and your body language is 60% effective. Wow. Which means this then, right? So on a podcast, you're really only able to leverage the words that you're using and the tone of your voice. Right? There's a famous quote by Maya Angelou that says, people don't remember what you say, they don't remember what you do, they remember how you make them feel. Yeah. Right? And if you were to ask anyone, like, describe to me your best friend in 1 second, they'd just be like, oh, he's a good guy. They wouldn't like necessarily say that one time that their best friend, did something, but the overall feeling of their best friend is that that's a good person that you love and trust. I'm sure if you think a little bit longer down, you could start picking out specific things they've said to you, specific things they've done for you. But usually that initial emotion is just how they make you feel. So video captures all three. Yeah, video captures that, where it's like you can use video, in my opinion, to take a cold market and move them to a somewhat warm market where they feel like they know you, because they're able to make conscious or unconscious judgments on how you are as a person. Like, for example, I'm Italian, I'm Spanish, I move my hands, how, different mannerisms on your face, the tone of your voice allows someone to make the conscious or unconscious, suggestions to themselves of, oh, I'd probably be friends with that person, or, Nick looks somebody that I'm similar with, or Nick talks about the things that like pique my interest. If I met Nick in person, I'd probably be Nick's friend, and even if I didn't know Nick, that's where I like video. And it goes back to that authenticity piece. If you do video right, it's really great. I also think people do video wrong, and then they don't get the authenticity, and people think there's kind of scammy and fake, and you can tell there's like an ulterior agenda. So I really think you see it both ways.
It kind of just exposes you, right?
Exactly.
In a sense that if you are a good person and people see that, it's not that you're tricking them. Like they actually are getting to know you. They actually are starting to understand you and make sense of your reality. So it's not, I think that's where people go wrong, is they look at it like another tactic. Yeah. But it's not. It's just a communication device, man. It's another device you could pick up and communicate with. The telephone doesn't make you good at marketing. What you say does. So that's a good point. So I think that's where we're getting at here. Cool, man. I love it. Any departing messages for our young, business owners out there that are trying to kind of do what you do and hack away at, geography and make something bigger than themselves, use the internet and get out there to millions of people?
So I would say kind of, I guess, 3 things, and I'll tie it into, leaving normal behind.
Sure.
So my parting message, in order to leave normal behind, you have to find your purpose, find that silver thread that is going to be your guiding light. It's going to be the lighthouse. It's going to be your compass on all of the things that you do. You have to find your purpose. The next thing is you have to articulate, that purpose to an audience. Whether that's through some type, I love how you put that, dude, a communication device. So that could be a blog, that could be a photo, that could be a video, that could be an audio clip, that could be an Instagram, a Snapchat, whatever it is, just figure out how you're going to articulate that purpose, that message to an audience. The next thing is very simple. All these steps are simple, but it's how many people will actually do it. It's now, create consistent content. You know, now that you've articulated your purpose, now just create that content consistently more often around that purpose. You know, that's 3 steps. And then the fourth thing, you know, I'll be able to go to 5 on this. The fourth thing is now that you're creating content, you're going to start to be experiencing a lot of backlash and resistance from your immediate friends and families or whoever's trying to kind of pull you down. So the fourth thing is you need to grow apart from people that don't grow. That's just a fact. You need to grow apart from people that don't grow. Curate your network. You know, remove negative people. However, you want to write that. And then the fifth one, dude, for me is wake up every day with gratitude. You know, it's just like, because once you're on the journey, dude, once you're removing people from your friends, you're creating consistent content. You know, there's a song I love by Russ. It's called The Journey, and it's like, you know, there is no destination. The journey is everything.
Yep.
You know what I mean? So it's just like, you're just realizing that you're just on the ride. A lot of people on this live are young, old, it doesn't matter. Like, once you have your purpose, once you figure out how to articulate your purpose, you just got to create content for the rest of your life. That's just
absolutely. Well, you got to communicate with people. You got to connect.
Exactly. And then just, you know, if you can just bring that all with gratitude that you found your purpose, that you're able to create, you know, you're going to put yourself in a good energetic state to, you know, continue to grow. So that would be my tips.
Cool, guys. We're here with Rob Fajardo. We got Sebastian here, Andrew, Adam, Josh Silva, Chris, Anthony. El Hayek just said, I'm looking, one last question for us. I'm looking to start a photography and video. Okay, this isn't my realm. Is there any harm in just going for it, even if you mess things up when it comes to personal branding? Are these mess ups just okay? I'm gonna take this. I mean, you're focusing in the wrong direction, because it's not your brand you have to worry about. It's the brands of the clients. I mean, you're a capture person. So, I mean, I walked around for 6 years, never wearing like a button up shirt or building my brand at all. I just made my clients look incredible. And if you're a good photographer or videographer, people are going to know you by your work, not by what you look like. Now, if you're trying to scale and be something different and just like squash the competition, you need that personal brand. But if you're trying to build the business, you got to focus more on the brands and the effectiveness that you're doing, that you're completing with your clients over what you look like and what your thing feels like. Because all clients need is an email with an example of your work, and you got clients. That's what I got to say. What do you got to say about that?
I think, dude, I'm gonna be honest. Like, I think you're a great example. You know, I've done it in my own way, but you know, if somebody's wanting to start a business, you know, they really just need to go through your photos, dude. Like, you really did, kind of in summation of what we were talking about in this call, being that lone wolf for a period of time to understand what works, what doesn't work, you know, before you got into building a team, you know. So I don't think, and also now it's like, what is your personal brand now that you put the time in before, right? And like, so you're seeing how that kind of ties in too, because, you know, there's some people that kind of are, you know, maybe not as much in the spotlight early on, and then use that time in the shadows to then come into the spotlight, and then
to fail.
And that's their spotlight, is that like, I was the person behind closed doors here, and now, you know, I'm coming out. So again, I think that comes into, you know, your brand messaging, and it's really just executing, dude. Because the truth of the matter is, bro, is like, doing that is hard. That's just like the fact, you know. Like,
contemplating it's easy, right?
Yeah, contemplating is easy, dude, and you know, you can't. Like, I'm not somebody that's like, oh, work hard. There's days where I'm like, oh, I want to work harder, but it's just like, start executing on something, dude. You know, just something quick. And the photo and video, you create collateral that you can use. You know, like, here's the photo I took. Here's the video I took, and like, try to let that photo or let that video speak for you, as opposed to like trying to have to justify yourself.
Let me see that spinner close up real quick. Yeah. Nice, dude. One more thing I got to say, keep that going. That's cool. This is the same as yesterday, Adam, and you might not have been here, which is like, stop being afraid of stuff, dude. Entrepreneurs that don't fail aren't trying hard enough. So here you are trying to avoid your failures, and it's just the wrong approach altogether. Like, you need to look at what can go right, because failure, it's just needed. Battle scars are needed in entrepreneurship. So just go do something and just fail, and people are going to respect you much more. You know, I'm in meetings with people, and when I straight up tell them how many times I've done things wrong, and it really secures down what I'm telling them I'm capable of today because they know I'm an honest person. So just like I said, dude, like don't stop trying to avoid failure is the first thing.
And you can just change it. You know, one thing that I look at is like just change the word failure into feedback. Because like failure implies that like you're gonna stop, but like if you know that you're not gonna stop, then it's just feedback that it wasn't that good.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, sure. All right, guys. Rob Fajardo, coming from what state are you in?
I'm in New Jersey right now.
Yeah, he's in New Jersey right now. He might be somewhere else tomorrow. But thank you so much, Rob. I appreciate you giving me the time.
I appreciate you, Nick.
Yeah, and we'll see you guys tomorrow with another connector. And go ahead and follow Rob at Rob Fajardo. I'll link up his Facebook. So just make sure you follow him and hear about everything he's doing. All right, dude.
Appreciate you guys. Take it easy. Peace.
Later, Rob.